All right, Sports Inside and Out. Coach Hatcher's basketball time now. The Harlem Globetrotter update with Bobby Zorro Hunter, of course, and we're going to have the Hall of Famer himself, our co-host for the Wally Wonder segment. Wally Jones should be tuning in. But we got a special guest coming on right now that I know our young ladies around the world here in the U.S. and abroad are going to love, as well as any basketball fan. We got a Hall of Famer, a pioneer in all right. Lovely Lynette Woodard from the formerly Harlem Globetrotters. But before we get started, let's talk about our military men and women around the world. That's right. Thank you so much for what you're doing for us. When we were awake, when we were asleep, you were awake, making sure our way of life here is safe. And American Forces Network. That's right. The #1 radio network in the world that broadcasts to all of our military personnel. Thank you so much for letting the voice of the legends of sports Inside and Out, be a part of the team. Now, Seabreeze, the leader in transitional housing and healthcare for wounded warriors and more. CEO Clarence Baker, thank you so much, a legend in his own right, for hanging with us and sticking with us, making sure that we get to point A for point B with our logistical management team. Fast G's in the house. And, of course, we got to give a shout-out to Nissan dealership that has supported our transportation, Nissan of Norfolk and Nissan of Chesapeake, swampandkeys.com. Those two former athletes from the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, doing a great job. Thank you so much. And if you're ever in the Virginia area, from Washington, Alexandria, on down to Tidewater, stop in and tell them the legend sent you by. Hey, listen, Bobby, we got one of the great ones of the game. Men or women, you can't, hands down, she is something to behold. A lovely, lovely person, not just physically, but what she does and putting herself out there off the field, off the court as well. We got the great Harlem Globetrotter legend, Hall of Famer, All-American, everything. We got Lynette Woodard with us, Bobby. Thank you so much for joining us, Lynette, taking away some of your busy time out there in Kansas, darling.
Thank you for having me. It is my pleasure.
Okay, Bobby, take it away, buddy.
Yes, we're talking about, let me explain this, the Jackie Robinson of women's basketball. She was the first of everything. But let's start off with, when you came to the Globetrotters, what was it like?
For me, it was a dream come true. As you know, I have a cousin who had played with the Globetrotters for 24 years. His name is Hubert Geese Osby, one of the great showmen. And just watching them and all those personalities every time they would come through Wichita and, of course, treat our family so special. But I was inspired by watching the team play, and every time I could catch with my eye some routine that they did in terms of the wizardry, I would find myself practicing it. I also watched Scooby-Doo every day after school. We had the Globetrotters on, and it just brought joy to your heart. And I just kept working on things, and every child has a dream. And when they go out and shoot and play basketball, they're either imitating a player or calling a player's name. Well, my team was always the Globetrotters, and I always wanted to do something fancy with the ball. And however God put that in my heart, time passed, and He made that dream come true for me. It's just been beautiful, and it's something that I can carry with me for the rest of my life.
The Globetrotters, the players, were very proud of you taking the time out to come back home and take care of your mother. I know that was quite a trip.
Well, yes, my mom had gotten up in age, and, I was in Houston, Texas at the time. I really loved Houston. The weather was beautiful. My job was great. Everything was just perfect. But one day I heard something in her voice that just made all that seem like nothing. And I just gave everything away, and I just headed to Kansas. It just had a leap of faith. And I tell you, I didn't know which way to go. But just trusting in God, He just made everything just open up when I needed it to. Everything wasn't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But when I needed it to open up, He did that for me. And I was able to spend time with my mother. I was able to care for her all the way to the end. And it was the greatest gift I've ever had in life.
I heard some great things about your church. Could you tell me the name of your church and what you actually do there?
Well, actually, I grew up in a church, Calvary Baptist Church. I was pastored by a gentleman, Reverend W.G. Williams, who's since passed, but that's where I learned a lot just growing up, just about God, you know. Sunday school, everything that we all know, you know, John 3:16. It's those things that come back and hold you in life, you know. Right now, you know, I've been here in Wichita. You know, just with caring for my mom, I couldn't always go or be where I wanted to be. But, you know, I know just about everyone here. And, you know, I just visit different churches. I love the Word. I love the Lord. And wherever I can learn, that's where I want to be. And so, you know, I just visit a lot of places because I'm open to it. It's like going to every gym, sort of. You know, I know you're supposed to be in one place. You got a home.
You got to go.
I have a home, but I like to see. You know, I played in every arena in the United States, and I loved it. I just didn't want to stay in one gym.
I don't know. Did Wally join us yet? Is Wally on?
Yes, I'm on.
Yeah, okay, Wally's just got on.
Wally, Wally, I was about to say you were in a program that Wally Jones was in Connecticut. And Wally, what about that program?
Well, the Center for Education Development, and we would take students from the inner city on retreats to campsites. And we were so fortunate to have Lynette to come up and do the human development training that involved so many exercises, self-concept, self-esteem, problem solving. And I was just, the young lady there was so impressed, and she made quite it's something where a young lady like her made such a statement to these young ladies. But what would you like to do with that part of it? What would you like to do?
Well, it was awesome for me. It was very life-changing because I realized that you can share your story with someone and inspire them. And I saw that happen. I saw those young people come in. I saw Rob and his team work with them. By the time they left, they were changed individuals. They had the drive to want to chase and be better, you know. And I saw it. I saw it happen. And it's so slight when that light comes on that you know it, and it's beautiful when it happens. It's like when somebody comes to believe something you've been trying to instill in them for so long, and then they start working it, and it's nothing more beautiful. And it has impacted me in such a way that when I had an opportunity to work with a program here in Wichita, the TRIO program, it's a federally funded program, national program, but our group is called Gear Up, and we help young people who are, I guess say, the underserved, if you will, but we help them believe that they can go to college. They're first generation, no one in their family has gone, no one's talking to them about college, but we come in and we fill that gap, and we help them understand that they can make it, and that they can do it with the support and the resources that we provide for them. They can turn that corner. And I've seen many students who have come in shy, wouldn't say a word, but now 2 years later, they're at the podium, they're speakers, they're heading to college, major colleges, and they're prepared and they are ready to go. And it's just so beautiful to know that in some way, somehow, just by being there, supporting them, encouraging them, that it's going to change their life in the future. It's going to change their families' lives. And it's just a neat thing. So I thank you, Wally, for showing me that, because that's something I held in my mind and my heart for a very long time until I could have the opportunity to do it as well.
Yeah, well,
I really appreciate that. That's so important to us. And, you know, we worked in a 10-state region, and it was so enjoyable for the federal government to go in, human development to your leadership. I'm glad you carried that on.
Yeah. Wally, it was one thing I think our listeners may want to do, and we talked about it off air. Her high school and college career is a story within itself. Let's hear a little bit about that, Lynette.
Well, you know, growing up here in Wichita, if I understand your question correctly, there weren't a lot of opportunities out here. And even as far as getting a scholarship, you know, it's so prevalent today, you don't even think about it. But when I went to the University of Kansas, I was the first female basketball player to receive a full scholarship. And that was so important to me because had I not gotten that scholarship, I would have had to work. You know, I was trying to study. I was trying to go to school. and I wouldn't have had full focus and able to play the game and study the game and love the game and spend time with the game that brought me to some of the rewards later in life. So education is most important. If you can just get an education, that's paramount.
Right.
Because that'll take you much further than sports, because there's a lot of diminishing returns. One day we all got to stop playing,
Right.
but we can all keep learning.
Right. Right.
You know, 5 women, Myers, Teresa Edwards, White Chocolate, Miss Miller, and yourself were able to play against men with no problem. And Teresa Edwards said that you were the strongest player that she's seen in that transition.
Well, that's kind coming from a 5-time Olympian. But I've got the skill because she's got the endurance, you know. But Teresa's a great person. She's dedicated her life to the game. I feel like she's unsung in many ways, but she is the greatest of all time. There are not 5-time Olympians out here. And she did it in the pros, she did it at amateur status, she did it wherever she went. And I have nothing but praise for her. But, they're great players. They're great players now coming down the pike. Women are dunking the basketball at ease. I mean, the gifts that God is blessing with it, it's beautiful to watch.
You know,
I'm amazed at what I see.
It's really remarkable.
Me too.
It's really remarkable, Lynette, that one of your friends, another great legend, Susan Summons, one of the winningest coaches in junior college history, as well as a former WBL pioneer in the sports. When we talked about you and the impact that all y'all did, they said a phrase came out of Susan that was very, very relevant to today for the youth, is that now little girls got big girls to look up to now. And that is something that's really profound for our gender. And it's not something to be taken literally, because this now is a functional reality and a mission statement for a lot of the inner city young ladies.
Yes, you brought up the name Susan Summers, who has been a pioneer for the game. This coaching, I feel that's another unsung hero or shero that we have. But her accolades stand anyway. That's what's beautiful.
Right.
And for those that will dig beyond the surface, then they'll see her shine like the glowing sun,
Right.
And we just got to keep building each other up, keep telling the truth about the game, and letting people know who's doing what where. And I think that's so important. And since there's so many people in the game, I'll just say that. But one thing, though, Wally, there's also players right now with the Globetrotters, and they're doing well, too. I don't know their names, but there's 4 young ladies out there presently that are playing with the guys as well. And they do it every night, so I know they're the best at it. So we have to remember as well, Bobby.
Yeah. T-Time can shoot that ball without a doubt. Might be the best shooter on the team. I have to be careful with that. There's a great project, though, that Gator Rivers, Dave, and Hugh Smith are all going to be working on, and it's called the Globetrotter Dream Court, and they're looking forward to putting a dream court across from your home with a learning center. That's a project that's in progress now with the great White Chocolate Nancy Lieberman is running through her organization.
Well, I hope that comes to fruition because, we have a park out there. I tell you, the surface, if the surface was redone, I just think, more people would come and, all the glass would be away and, it'd be an opportunity to have respect again for the park and to go out there and to be the best and know that, that time you're putting out there, it doesn't matter where you are, that God can bless you if you stay focused. And, it would be nice because, academics, athletics, to me, they're hand in hand. If you take the game and use it, you get a great education so that you can have a better life. I tell you, it's no greater joy.
I like the sound of the Lynette Woodard Learning Center.
Oh, it sounds nice, man. It really does. I'll take it.
All right.
Let's make it happen, Bob.
Well, this is a great situation, and we want to make sure that we come back and be a part of another interview with that, particularly when we go simulcast. We'll be going on TV very shortly in 2017, second quarter 2017 fiscal year, and we look forward to having a great show where you'll be able to put voices with these, faces with these lovely voices, and the voices with these great faces that we got coming on. And it's going to be a fantastic opportunity for us to really, truly be an impact for the legends of sports. And on behalf of the Retired Players Associations, for NBA, RBA, we all are so happy to be able to bring to all of our listeners here and abroad the great Lynette Woodard. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day. And guys, as always, we want to make sure that we realize that when legends speak, people listen.